Hello bros and welcome to Zero BroFive production and the next part of Sakura Fantasy Chapter 1 Part 13. Alright, start recording right here and load where we left off last time. Well, what are you? She stops and averts her eyes as she catches a glimpse of my nude form. Relin? For a moment she struggled to find what she wants to say. I hope there's a good explanation for this. Gwen quickly follows from behind. She opens her mouth to say something but thinks better of it. This might be a problem. So what happened to you? Did you just decide to take off your armor for some reason? A slime ate my armor. A slime? Oh, those slimes. I remember those foul things myself. I told you there were monsters which destroy armor out here. Luckily, the slimes aren't that dangerous beyond that. What you encountered was a kloof eater. For whatever reason, it has the appetite for leather and cloth, not to mention carrion. Kind of like those mouse which nest in clothing. Never mind. That? I don't need an explanation for it. Just, does anyone have a spare clothing? It's so cold. Relax, I told you that I prepared ahead of time. After all, I was the one who warned you about this. How do you know about the slimes anyway, Gwen? In an old book I own? This isn't relevant. Please, can you give me anything to wear, anything at all? Even if it's just an old sack. Reaching into her bag, she pulls out a fresh change of armor. It's tailored exactly like my old armor. I'm not really sure how she goes to spare a pair of armor from me, but I'm not about to complain. I immediately pull all of it on, not willing to stand naked in the cold mire air. Thank you so much. Why didn't you say something earlier? That's what I want to know. The slime covered my mouth before I could say anything. Believe me, I tried to get your attention. It stopped me from moving too. It's true, the slimes do bind things before they devour them. I think it would be best if Kiera stays up at the back for now. Agreed. If anything snares me, I know how to deal with it. You really had me worried there, Rollin. Please be more careful. I'm sorry. I just happened so fast. Well, you should be even faster then. Come on, we wasted more than enough time here. It took us hours to find shelter. Trekking through the place alone is incredibly tiring. It's not quite as bad as doing guard duty in the castle though. After a while, we eventually managed to find a mountain packed with hollow caverns. The storm was about us by the time nightfall came. Thick thundering clouds enveloped the mountains and drowned the land beneath us in torrential rain. Given how the mires are already swampland, I would be surprised if there's going to be a flood. I just have to hope for the best. Kiera double-checked the cavern we had chosen until she happened to say before she was happy to stay there. You never be certain of what might be lurking in her. She kept repeating to herself. I'm glad to be somewhere dry though. Maybe not somewhere warm. We were barely able to get a fire started due to the rain, how damp the mines naturally are. All the wood here, despite being brittle and dead, has been soaked through in the rain. Something about the wood here also gives a sinister glow onto the fire. I swear that I see the green aura around it. Shivering in the cold, all the tree is huddled around the fire trying to warm ourselves. I love a hot bath right now. We only been out here for 1 day, Gwen. You can't be quitting already. Sorry. Gwen is a lover of the comfortable things. Her warm bath, her soft pillow. So she is really out of her element. Right now she is writing away in one many black books she took with her. She must be writing down her observation of the mires while she's been here. We haven't stopped long enough for her to take closer inspection of the plant life though. It seems to keep her happy, though it's been a long day and writing seems to be the way for her to relax. Kiera, on the other hand, looks extremely paranoid. I would be paranoid out there too, actually. She glances away and another seemingly jumping at the shadows. Being in the place, being in this place makes her edgy, very edgy. I still don't understand why though. She'd been here before, but what happened is still a mystery to me. I always check if people are okay. Are you okay, Kara? You've been dead the entire time we've been here. I noticed that too. It never pays to be complacent in the mires. Last time I was here, everything we did went wrong somehow. I was far too frequent for it to be bad luck. So entire, so entire, so either this entire forest was against us, or we was someone else lurking in the which was interfering with our expedition. That tiny compass is going to be enough if we. That compass isn't going to be enough if we want to navigate this place. Though I do not wish to be bleed and boom from the Empress herself. Extra precautions in case unforeseen problems are always important. I can't understand what she's talking about. The mires do feel like the kind of place where precautions like this would be necessary. We haven't seen any of the beasts which roam these lands yet. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, I can't tell. The best the beasts in the mires are one thing, but becoming lost in this place. This is what kills most scouting parties who enter here. Quietly she stares into the embers, looking deep in thought. Listen, I think it's time you two both know what happened when. I think it's time you both know what happened when I was last out here. Looking at Gwyn, I hesitate the ID. Her previous experience here were traumatic, so I don't know if it would be wise for her to talk about it now. Kiera noticed my hesitation immediately. It's fine, Ren, and Gwyn knows that something happened too. We know each other a lot better than you would think. I hadn't thought of that, but that would be true. Gwyn is her favorite novice after all. Yeah, because she never trains her. Looking back to her, Gwyn just gives me a knowing smile. So it's obvious that I've been here before. It was a part of the expedition tried to push back in the mires. The blight that changed the land can be cured with the right methods. By cutting back the forest and reclaiming the soil, we could begin the purification rites. My sister was here too. She was far younger than me, little more than a child. I had taken her on the expedition as she had no one to look after that she had no one to look after her while I was away. Definitely one of my most terrible mistakes. No, she tries to force herself to talk. I can see the tears forming in her eyes. Our parents had died long time ago, so it fell to me to protect her. I had practically fought to bring her on the expedition because I knew I couldn't leave her alone in the capital. So everything was going fine for a while. There were no incidents. We reclaimed large swaths of the land and no one had died. But one night, right before it was time to sleep, I found that my sister was missing. Children have the tendency to wander, so I didn't worry so much about it. Though I looked all around our camp, I couldn't find her. Then I heard a laughter coming from within the forest. Her laughter. Her laughter? I wasn't thinking straight at the time. I charged into the mires. Mires was a terrible idea, but I couldn't ignore my sister's laughter. I couldn't leave her alone inside the rotting place. So blindly, I charged in there. I brought no light with me, so I was just following the sound of her laughter. Stumbling through the dark, blinding, waving my sword around. After a while, the sound of laughter seemed to echo from everywhere. No matter how much I ran, I still couldn't get any closer to its source. I was so I was too tired to even move by the time dawn came. Even in the morning light, I could do was stumble through the mires. I tried to set markers or anything I could keep track of my progress, but it was all for no, nothing. I think there were trees seemed to shift, making me lose track of where I was. Worst of all, I could still hear my sister's laughter in the undergrowth. Then the beast came for me to take my life. It took me weeks to make it out of there. The foul things had to eat, the tainted water I had to drink. If it weren't for my gift, I could have died out there. By the time I made it back, the entire expedition was missing, and the foul forest was creeping its way back across the land. I was the only survivor somehow. To this day, I don't know what happened to my sister. She could be alive after all this time though. Even with my gift, the forest nearly killed me. So to come to her like this, it's almost like I'm walking in a graveyard. I could not think of the worst place for someone to die than inside the mires. Suddenly the tears began to trickle from her eyes. She barely composed now, merely stepped away from sobbing. I wish I weren't inside this cave. At least my tears could be hidden in the rain. I honestly don't know what to say to her. The fact that she still came after knowing what she's going to face. Now you know about it. This is why I care so much about my novices. Every single one of you is precious to me. I can never allow you myself to be so careless again. You have no idea how much you two mean to me. If you never came back, no, I can't think like that. That is why I decided to come, despite knowing what is here. I can't let you disappear into the horrible place like my sister did. How did you not lose your mind when you were stuck out here? I almost did. To listen to my sister's laughter endlessly and not be able to do anything. It was even worse when the laughter became screams. When I stumbled out of there, I could barely tell what was real and what was an illusion. Fortunately, I managed to make it back to the wall and get treatment. After that day, I decided myself nurturing and protect warriors younger than myself. Alina herself came to see me when I made it home. She congratulated me on making it out alive and ensured that I could live comfortably after what had happened. But but life after my sister, it wasn't even going to be the same. As much as I tried to bury myself in training, I can't get rid of this grief. It will remain with me forever. I cannot run from it or deny it. The only way I could escape is if I forgot about her, and I would sooner die than forget. Sometimes I like to imagine that she's somehow found a way out, that she is somewhere safe, like in the capital, or I don't know, just somewhere. I only deluding myself from the truth though. You can't stop hoping. She might have made it out alive. The alternative is to despair and mourn. I have to agree with Rowling. She might still be out there, Kiera. However unlikely it is, to do not give up. It takes some time for Kiera to collect herself again. All I can do is to prod the burning embers with the fire while we wait. She isn't alone in the trauma now. We help her carry the burden of her memories. That will only make us stronger as we make our way to the star. I can also understand why she doesn't like being watched now. During all the time spent in the mines, she would have had to constantly look over her shoulder. If she weren't paranoid, then she would be dead. No wonder she was so. No, I'll be out soon. I'm coming out soon. No wonder she was upset with when it came to the first scene. She doesn't like having unseen eyes watching her. In all honesty, I'm surprised that she wasn't outright hostile towards me. You two sound far older than you look, you know. When I didn't, when did I train such wise novices? I'm not a novice, remember? I got the promotion. Come on, surely you worked out that it isn't a promotion by now. Thank you both. It was never easy to carry this alone. After we lost our parents, I always felt on me to bear our burdens. I guess I learned not to rely on others. But I have you two now. I have no intention of losing either of you out here. So don't wander too far out of my sight, okay? You sound like your mother used to. You sound like my mother used to. She must have been a kind woman. Will's face lights up as she thinks of an idea. What was your sister's name, Kiera? Lavina. Why did you want to know? I know we've told you not to give up, but in the case the worst happens, why don't we make a memorial for her? I appreciate the thought, Granny, but it would be a waste of our time. We cannot afford to stop for such trivial things. We would be. Where would we even be put a memorial anyway? There's no place this cursed forest doesn't swallow up. It's enough to know that we might be able to reclaim these lands one day. My sister would appreciate the most of a thing. To clean up this graveside and replace it with rolling fields of green. Yes, that is what I will aim to do. When we finally destroy this blight, let this whole forest be her memorial. And of the star, The Empress has made it clear to us that it's important. It's important. What if we're going to lead us to salvation of our lands? I just don't know. I wish I knew what the star meant. But the only way we're going to find out if it's bring it back to her. I need to know, too. It's been driving me insane over the last month. I have to agree. I plan to record our finding when we reach the star. This could be a historical find. Be a historical find. That is if it's not if it's not raining when we get there. Mercifully the stairs out in the cave mouth, watching the rain pelt down. Curse that rain. This is the only chance I've had to write down anything. I'm afraid that is more important than we all rested. Your writing is going to have to wait. Relin, you first to night watch duty. Gwen tried not to stay up late. I can't argue with her on that. Both of them settle near the fire, huddling close as they can stay warm. It's going to be a long night. And they're safe. So, well, that was all I have for Sakura Fantasy. This time, then, the story getting more and more interesting. We're learning more about Kiera now. Pretty much, because she is pretty much insane. To say the least. But at least, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. BroFive!